Bone and Bowden.
About what they say. Not who I had. I had Williams and Schofield.
Colgate is Jordan Burns and Will Raymond.
Raymond. That was my. I had those right on top.
No, I'm with you. So far, anyway. They might bring him in additionally, but that's the only two they said. From Tennessee, we have Jordan Bone and Jordan Bowden, and we will hear from them first, and we'll have a statement from Coach Barnes, and then have questions for Coach Barnes. As always, a reminder to please ask your questions specifically for each player, and since we have two named Jordan, you might go ahead and say a last name as well this time. So congratulations to the volunteers. Do we have any questions for our players? First question up front. Go ahead.
Jordan Bone, just, how were you guys able to keep your composure there? I mean, they were making a bunch of shots, and, everybody in the arena was rooting for a Cinderella. Just how were you able to, not panic?
Right. Well, I just want to say first, this is a really good team. They fought super hard, and we couldn't appreciate that, honestly, anymore. I feel like this team was prepared to come into this game. I feel like we understood going into the game that it was going to be tough. Understanding that, especially this time of the year is very important. It's very critical. And towards when we understood that it was going to be a tight game, we just wanted to put them in long possessions, make them guard a little longer, and just execute what we do. We've been in tougher positions earlier this year. So the key thing is just never get rattled. Understand how hard we worked to get to this point, so there's no reason to get rattled. But more importantly, just executing our game plan.
Go ahead.
For both of you guys, what made Jordan Burns so difficult to guard today?
He was hitting tough shots. We tried to limit his touches, down to the end, and we had good defense on him. Lamonte Turner, was playing good tight defense on him. He was just hitting tough shots, and that's what we try to do.
Behind you, go ahead.
It's for both players. Do you think a game like this, instead of having just a blowout in the first game, could serve you well as the tournament progresses?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, they put up a tough fight. This wasn't an easy game, and we knew that it was going to be like that going into this game. I feel like they prepared us well for our upcoming game against Iowa. So we just have to, understand going into the Iowa game, it's going to be another tough matchup. It's going to be very similar, and we have to execute our game plan.
For Jordan Bowden, coming down the stretch, you guys, 9 of your last 10 opponents were NCAA tournament teams. How much do you think that helped you guys, prepare for, the kind of competition you're going to see this month?
You say it one more time.
9 of the last 10 teams that you played were NCAA tournament teams. Just playing that kind of schedule at the end of the year, how do you think that's helped you guys?
It helped us a lot. We've been in tough battles this whole year, and a team like Colgate, they really, like Bone said, they prepared us for Iowa, and just about us, executing the game plan and doing what we do.
Go ahead, Mark.
Mark Herman from Newsday, New York. Jordan Bone, can you describe what the emotions are like when you're playing against Cinderella and everybody is rooting for them and against you?
I feel like there wasn't much emotions. We were excited to play. I feel like on our end, there was a lot of anxiety towards the beginning of the game. We were kind of just ready to play because we didn't like the way we ended the season, in the championship game against Auburn. So we were all just ready to go out there and compete. We were very anxious. But I feel like the emotions, we've learned to put that to the side. We've learned in many tough games, exciting games, as you would say, it's more about the intensity over the emotion. Intensity being just, doing your job at a very high level. So I feel like there wasn't a lot of emotion. There was just a lot of anxiety towards the beginning of the game.
And what do you say, because those guys played their hearts out, as did you. What do you say to those guys at the end of the game? This is the biggest game they'll ever play.
Absolutely, man. Like I mentioned earlier, we just appreciate those guys for, coming to fight. It wasn't an easy game. Just shaking their hands. I was just like, great game, man. Just keep your head up. Way to fight. Just a wonderful lesson, man. Just to compete day in and day out. That's what this game is about. Just competing and enjoying the game.
Go ahead in the back.
Stephen Bailey with the Syracuse Post-Standard. Question for you, Jordan. I wanted to ask you about the three you hit with maybe four minutes left or so from the right wing. Obviously, they had been playing off for a while. What did that mean, and what gives you the confidence to keep taking those?
Well, the entire coaching staff does an amazing job to give us confidence to take those open shots. We've learned in tougher situations this year that we have to work our game plan. We have to play towards our strengths. And when we do get the ball that wide open, we do have to shoot the ball with confidence. So that's just a wonderful job by our coaches to give us that confidence to take those shots. And I shot it with confidence, and it worked in our favor.
This will be the last question for our Jordans. Go ahead.
For Jordan Bone, Admiral had not been shooting well, hits those threes late. Grant, you guys weren't really able to get him involved a lot, has the big block. What about those two guys and some of those plays they made late?
Well, with Admiral, he's been in many games this year where he's knocked down tough shots, big-time shots in a critical moment, and he did that today. With Grant, I feel like it was kind of tough for him to get into the flow of the game earlier. I'm not really sure what it is, but he kind of found his way towards the second half. He started making the right plays, and we trust him to do that. So we put the ball in his hand, and he made those right passes. He made the right plays. And more than all, man, it's just trusting those guys because, at the end of the day, we're not the team we are. We're not the team that we are today without Admiral and Grant. So just understanding that we have to get those guys the ball because we trust them to make the right plays, and they did that down the stretch.
Well, thank you very much, both Jordans. Nice games. Congratulations. And we'll see you tomorrow at the press
Thank you.
conference as
Appreciate
well. Coach Barnes is getting his voice ready for his
Yep.
opening statement.
Well, I think a game like today is what makes the NCAA tournament the NCAA tournament. You get a group of guys from a league where I'm looking out at my good friend John Feinstein. I know you did a book, or you're writing a book about the Patriot League, and wrote a book ago, and he told me, so what's great about that league is you got a group of guys that just love to play basketball. And that's what it looked like today. They earned their right here, and I mean, what can you say about Jordan Burns? I mean, he was terrific. It looked like he had a magnet in that ball. And but I thought they played really hard. We were, and what Jordan said, I said to the guys at halftime, I thought we were anxious. I thought we were showing too much anxiety. And I think some of it goes to a year ago. We came in here and we talked to the team about it last night when we had the big lead against Wright State. And I told the coaches when we started out the way we did, I said, this is not good. Because I thought our guys thought it was just going to be that way. And when they came back and got back in the game, they were daring us to shoot it early. I didn't think we worked hard enough in the game to put the ball inside. I didn't think Grant really fought for his positioning. But I didn't think we were very good defensively. And I don't want to take anything away from Colgate because I thought those guys played their hearts out. But that's to get through this tournament, you're going to have games like this. And mention the crowd. I mean, we've been in big arenas. I don't think the noise of the crowd is going to bother us. I do think that at the end of the game, we try to get some movement back into where guys know where their shots are going to come from. And like the shot that the play that Grant ran today at the end for the Admirals last three was the exact same play we ran at Florida to win the game down there. And I thought the guys knew where they were going to be able to step in and shoot the ball, and they did it with confidence. But again, you got to love Colgate and what they did. You got to love it, and it's kind of what I thought they would do. You know, we told our guys last night, don't expect it to be easy, even if we get up, which we did, and they fought back. But we were really some uncharacteristic things that we did with our body language and things that we haven't done all year, and that's where I know that there was some anxiety with our guys, but we were able to get it done. And you don't ever take a win in the NCAA for granted, ever. And the fact that we got it done the way we had to, it's kind of, we've had to do that a couple different times this year. And Jordan Bone said it. They stayed with it. They knew what they had to do, and they did it.
Go ahead up front. Go ahead.
Oh, Coach, you touched on it already, and you sat there yesterday and predicted the exact same thing, that they would pack it in and dare you guys to settle. You know, I mean, how frustrating was it to see them continue to jack up the threes and not work it inside?
Well, it's frustrating because we know what that's done to us in all 5 of our losses. But we don't mind taking them if it's in the flow of what we're doing. But it's when we just settle, and we did that too much too early. I apologize. I can't talk. I haven't been able to get my voice back.
Go ahead.
Hey, Rick, Stephen Bailey with the Post-Standard in Syracuse. Regarding Jordan Burns, what was most impressive about his performance tonight, and is there a moment that's kind of going to stick with you from it?
He's better in person than he was on tape. I can tell you that. I mean, you knew he was the kind of guard that controls the ball very, very well. He goes right a lot, and as hard as you try to keep him from doing that, he still mixes it up, but he's got a quick release. We were switching on some ball screens, and he took advantage of driving guys down the lane, and he's a good basketball player. He really is, but they have a good team. The second half, one of their bigger players, I think, didn't get to play much because I think he had an eye infection or something. Somebody told me that probably helped him in the long run because they could really spread you out then. But they're really well coached, a really well coached team. I thought they played with great composure, great poise, and they fought. And again, that's what makes this tournament what it is. And we were fortunate to get it done, but our guys got it done, and that's the bottom line.
Any message to Jordan Burns after the game?
Yeah, I told him he was terrific. I'd like to have him on our team tomorrow. I mean, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. That might be called I didn't say that. Scratch that.
He's the kind of player you would like to have.
Yeah, kind of player. Again, you got to love a guy like that, and you got to love. I think he's from Texas because one of his former coaches actually texted me today, and a guy that worked for me at Texas and told me that you're getting ready to play against one of my favorite players and one of my favorite people. So I don't know him, but for the guy that sent me that, I think it speaks volumes because he wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. And but he was a star today. He really was. But he's been good for him all year.
Do you mind me asking who that coach is?
Wait 1 second. I can't. Chris. Man, I'm drawing the last name. If you come, I'll give it to you on my phone. You come down, I'll give it to you. Okay.
Appreciate it.
With Coach struggling with his voice, we'll take 2 more questions. Thanks.
Actually, a little bit off topic here, Rick, but Bryce Drew was fired today. I was wondering if you had any reaction to that.
Boy, it's tough because you get to know these guys and you realize how hard a job it is. And I said it all year long. He had put together a great recruiting class, and he, a guy that they built their program around, got hurt 5 games into the season, and the other guy didn't get to play. I think he missed most of the preseason. So right in the middle of the year, or right at the start of the year, he had to rechange everything he probably spent all last summer doing. And but you hate to see it for someone that I respect as much as I respect Bryce. And after 3 years, it's tough. And there's a lot of things that happened to them this year that I think was out of his control. I mean, again, Darius Garland going down. Because they were a different team. He was, I think, Rookie of the Week or Player of the Week the first couple weeks of the SEC season, and it's tough. This business is, after 3 years, it's pretty tough.
Coach, thank you. Congratulations.
All
We
right,
look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Time to hear from our Colgate players, Jordan Burns and Will Raymond, and we have Coach Langel with us, and he will make a statement after we have questions for the players. Again, please specify which player you would like to answer your question, and let's try and keep things moving a little bit more quickly. If you have a question, make sure and look for our microphone holders as quickly as possible. While the previous question is being asked, please try and track yourself down a microphone so that we can move a little bit more quickly. Do we have questions for our players?
Yeah, for Jordan, what was it like to have the kind of game that you had on this kind of stage?
It feels great. You know, we came into this game knowing how good we were as a team, and you know, to be able to go out there and show people, you know, how good we really are was great.
Will, what was the difference in the second half when you started to make a little bit of a run, came from a deficit, got back in front? What was the things that were working for Colgate at that point?
It was pretty much just sticking to the game plan and just forcing them to take tough shots and getting rebounds. In the first half, we let up way too many offensive rebounds, and that kind of messed us up in the first half. And then the second half, we were getting those rebounds that we were missing in the first half, and we were making shots. We were swinging the ball. We were playing team basketball like we have for the past, I don't know, 11 games we've been winning. And, yeah, so.
I want to hear from both Will and Jordan on this. This is a big place. Nationwide Arena is huge. It's not Hamilton, but the maroon you could visibly see, you could hear everybody. Were you so aware that you had so much support in the stands, and of course watching at home, but right here in Ohio?
Yeah, definitely. We knew we had so much support. You know, we have the best fans in the country. That's what we think. You know, we pack out Cotterell Court as much as we can, and you know, we love these guys. All the people that come out and watch us play, we definitely felt it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see all those people coming out. I only really knew that the football team was going to be there, so to see that whole section full was unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, we're a small school, but we have a lot of people that really care about the school, so it just shows. So.
And Jordan, I just talked to your dad in the concourse. Everyone's kind of looking toward next year already, maybe a second back-to-back NCAA tournament appearance like the 90s. Your thoughts on that?
Honestly, you know, we're just going to get back to work after today. You know, we're just going to get back in the gym, work hard for next season, and, you know, we'll discuss goals and things at the end of the year.
Mark Herman from Newsday, for Jordan and for Will. It looked like you guys were just enjoying it so much. Can you just talk about it? Can you just explain the sheer joy factor of what that was like being out there today?
Yeah, of course. You know, our coach uses the term, you know, playing with house money, and he was saying just go out there and have fun. You know, we have nothing to lose, so it was great, you know, going out there with this big crowd and being able to stay in the game and, you know, almost winning the game. You know, it was amazing. We felt like coming into this game it was going to be, you know, a close one, even though most people in the country didn't. So, you know, we expected this, so that's why we were really excited. And unfortunately we were unable to pull it off, but, you know, we had a great showing.
Yeah, I mean, just personally, like I love playing basketball, so I'm always happy when I'm playing, and I know we all do. That's why we do. That's why I do this every day. That's why we play at this level. So I mean, just like to be out there on the national stage, this is it. Like this is what you dream about as a kid. This is what you watch on TV. Like this is the best stage to do it, and you know we were just all having a really good time out there. So.
Stephen Bailey from the Post-Standard in Syracuse. Question for Jordan. It seemed like early in the game they were like talking to you while you're driving and moving around. What were they saying, and what was it like to see as the game went on? Maybe
the Tennessee players.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that happens with a lot of schools. You know, it's just, you know, talking, getting to the game and things. You know, we're competitors out there, so guys on the other side, you know, you want to try to get in each other's head, and you know, it was fun. You know, it was all fun and games. You know, it's during the game, just during the flow. So. Just standing, you know, nothing really drives me besides my team. You know, they keep me confident regardless of what anybody else says. So.
Rob McCurdy, USA Today Network, Ohio. Jordan, you've grown up watching this thing and the one shiny moment and the montage and all that, and obviously you're probably going to be a part of that. Just what did you feel like you were going to have something special today? I mean, or did you wake out of bed and think this is going to be it?
You know, I felt like today was going to be a special day, definitely with my dad being able to see me play for the first time in a while. So, you know, it was great having him here, having all my family here. So I definitely felt like today was a special day. And, it was obviously.
And Jordan, just elaborate on the moment you had with your dad after the game. You climbed over the press row area there to enjoy a moment with your dad. Just tell us what was that like?
Yeah. So I haven't seen my dad in a couple months. Obviously, my parents, my mom and my brothers came up the last week for the championship game, but he wasn't able to make it because of work. So just being able to see his face and be able to give him a hug and tell him I love him was amazing.
For both players, you were without one of your best players, you had some kind of eye issue. What kind of effect did that have on you guys?
I mean, honestly, it didn't have much of an effect. Everyone on our team is good enough to step up at any given time. We work for these moments for guys being out and things like that. So we were ready. If he wasn't able to play, another guy's going to step up, and that's what happened tonight.
Will, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what he said. Yeah.
Is that it for our players? Congratulations. It was a tremendous show. And you have so much to be proud of with your championship in the conference and then a very good showing here today. So thanks again for being with us. Coach Langel, would you like to make an opening statement and then take some questions?
Yeah, sure. Obviously a fantastic NCAA basketball game. I thought the venue was terrific. The hospitality has been unbelievable. I thought the fans and the energy in the building was everything you dreamed it could be. Specific to the game, it kind of went as planned, other than obviously your heart breaks for a guy like Rappelis who, just came down with a bout of pink eye. He battled it a couple weeks ago. We thought it was gone, and he woke up this morning and it just wasn't happening. So, you have a mix of emotions. You're proud of your team and happy that we fought so hard to make it such an exciting game, but you're disappointed in the result, and your heart breaks for Rappelis, who, without him we wouldn't have been able to get there. I think it speaks to the character and the makeup of the team that I get to coach. That's who they are. Jordan Burns missed 5 games with pretty significant ankle injury, and the guys just kind of kept moving forward, and they've kept getting better over the course of the season. And as a coach, you want nothing more than that. I got to give Tennessee credit. They had all the pressure. Jordan joked that I said we're playing with house money, but we dealt with that pressure going into the end of the regular season and in our conference tournament. We had one chance to get here, and so as the game got tight and close, I thought Tennessee managed it really well. Obviously, Schofield stepped up and made a couple huge corner jump shots. It ends up being the difference of the game. Turned it over a couple more times than we would have liked and gave up a couple more offensive rebounds than we would have liked. But, for the most part, I think we got to show who we are and what we can do, and made some good plays to get some open shots and stepped up and knocked them down.
Coach, down 16 in the first half, and then without the services of Ivanauskas in the second half, to be able to battle back and take the lead in the second half and then battle all the way down the stretch. Does anything surprise you about this team?
No, Eric, you've been with us every step of the way, and I think you've seen the myriad of ways that this group has found a way to battle and compete. And, it's been different guys in different moments, and they do it together, and they believe in one another. Again, I've never coached a team that gives each other more high fives than this group. Like, we could be doing any shooting drill or, being down 15 or, up 2 or whatever. They're constantly there for one another. So, nothing surprises me. Obviously, I'm immensely proud of their effort. And, I think part of, Rap couldn't see great, and we stuck with him because he's a huge part of what our team, but part of getting down was him being out there. He couldn't catch the ball clean. He couldn't see great. So in some ways, the group rallied behind him and for one another.
Stephen Bailey with the Syracuse Post-Standard. For the first 36 minutes, they took open threes and for the most part didn't make them. Then Bone hit one and Schofield hit 3. How much of the kind of result is just them bucking that trend?
Yeah, I think a lot of it. I mean, the game plan wasn't just let them shoot threes, but obviously they dominate in the paint in the SEC, and they're number 1 in the country for a stint this season because of their ability to do what they do. So, we knew if we just kind of played them, didn't pack it in a little bit and change defenses and help and show them a crowd and, give up hopefully some late contested 3-point shots that, our chances weren't great. So that was part of the game plan, was to hope that they would miss enough for it to be close enough for us to steal. And, I give those guys credit. I mean, Bone is, he's a really talented guy, but he also runs his team. And I think that, he and Turner to combine 9 assists, just 2 turnovers ends up being a huge part of the game. And, Schofield stepped up and made those shots, and Bone hit a huge one too.
Yeah, 2 questions. Was there a time during the game when you thought we really could pull this off? And secondly, with Ivan Auskas's injury or the eye issue, what did you do to try to, was there anything you could do about it? Just pink eye and you just have to hope that his vision clear somehow?
Yeah, I mean, our medical staff, again, I don't think anybody thought it was going to be an issue. He had his glasses on all through the morning and went to put his contacts in, and he was just really struggling. He's struggling to get his contacts in to see. And I mean, I think they tried a variety of different things, medications and ice and, cleaning the lenses and all those things. And, just in the second half, he tried to warm up at halftime, and he just said he couldn't go. I think the other question you asked was did I ever think we were going to yeah, the whole time. I mean, as a coach, that's what you think. That's, our staff worked like crazy since Sunday to try and prepare a plan that our guys could execute to win the game. And so when you're down double figures, you're searching for things to do. And without Rapp out there, we had to make some changes on the fly, but it also gave us some advantages because they had with forwards and centers on our guards. And so it allowed us to drive a little bit more and create some passing lanes and some ball screen switching opportunities that, to be honest, we don't usually use. And our guys stepped up and played great. They played their hearts out, and they made some shots. And again, you're just trying to continue to hang in there, and hope that you can, get enough stops and make enough shots down the stretch to steal a game like that.
We'll take 2 more questions for Coach. Go ahead.
Coach, 8 years now at Colgate. You've taken these incremental steps. Conference championship last year. You win the conference championship. You get here this year. Is it can you call it a program now and a new culture in Hamilton and at Colgate based on what has been going on? And are you ready to make that next step now in another year?
Yeah, I mean, our goal every step of the way, and I've been fortunate to have a staff that's been with me most of that whole time, and we've got another assistant coach who played for us, so he's been with us most of the time, is we're just trying to constantly get better. And so, that goes to every aspect of what we do, whether it's, helping our players get better, our recruiting efforts, whatever it may be. I'm really proud of how Colgate and Hamilton rallied around us. They're 2 really small communities. I mean, you're talking a couple thousand people. And for them to show up here in Columbus like they were able to, it means a lot to me personally. That, I do feel good about the program we've built. And I told the seniors in our locker room as they were, exiting, that they don't get to put the uniform on anymore, but they should be really proud, and hopefully will be for some time, of the program that they've helped build. And I hope, one of my goals when I got here was that Colgate basketball would become generational, that, guys who wore the uniform in the 70s and 80s and 90s would want to know these guys, and these guys, as they move forward, would want to come back and follow the team and be a part of our program, because to me, that's what makes it special.
Last question.
Seemed like, I don't know if bittersweet's the right word, but the moment for Jordan afterward, he fights through the end of the game, makes those 2 threes, and then kind of immediately goes, and his family is there. Like, what was your kind of perspective on that moment, and did you have a chance to kind of say anything to him?
No, I didn't get to. I mean, obviously, you've been around our team for a few days here, Stephen. And, I mean, Jordan's a talented individual, and he's driven in a lot of ways, and one of those things that drives him is his love for his family and their love for him. And I feel really good that I get to coach not just Jordan, but a lot of guys who come from those backgrounds, who, their families give them to us to be, their Colgate basketball family for a little bit. And as important as that is to our guys on our team, their families are always number one. And, I think that's the way life should be. Not everybody gets to have that opportunity. And, it's special in Jordan. It's a big part of who he is, but the same goes for just about everybody else on our team. And so I feel very fortunate to coach guys like that who have those relationships and care so deeply about their loved ones.
Congratulations on a tremendous season, and good luck going forward. Thanks, Fair.